allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening again. Start the roll, please.
Mike Ballard.
Here.
Lawrence Myers. Nicole French.
Here.
Jeff Giuliano.
Here.
Dee Patel. Susan Johnson.
Here.
Bridget Bennett. Gina Kreitler.
Here.
Kelly Fowler. Candy Sue Moran. And Laura Oliver. All right, that's it.
Okay, motion for the approval agenda, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the minutes. Give you a minute to look through those. Motion whenever you are ready, please.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Dina.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Financial report.
So we don't have a major financial report for you tonight because we are doing auditing. Our auditors are in town, so for the last week and a half, we've been preparing for them, and they've been here. So I had just the breakdown from our software on the budget itself.
Thank you.
David? Yeah. Can I have you make a note that there's an H in my name? It's Nichole.
Oh, that must be, I think that would be, that's probably my mistake. Yeah.
I don't know. It's been 33 years of people spelling it wrong, so you can blame my dad.
All those motions that you've made over the, we need
We need to amend all the minutes.
All the minutes. Yeah.
Thanks,
I'm like,
thanks for
what-
just telling us now.
At what point do I bring it up again? Every time there's a new person, I'm like, can we?
Sure, I wouldn't know anything at all what that's like.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So at this point, we spent $2,598 on marketing. That's printing. So you see the rack cards in front of you. We've had advertising for Pecanapalooza. I think that's pretty much what we've done with that. So we have Christmas stuff coming up, and I'll show you some of that here in a little bit.
Any questions on financial report? I know we hit it pretty hard last week. So,
Last week.
or what?
I was like,
I don't remember that.
See how hard?
Seems like.
Wait a minute, who approved that, Nicole?
Do it. Did I
As if who
approve
approved that?
No, I wasn't
Yeah.
even invited to the meeting.
Nicole without an H.
Deborah Nicole.
So do we still need a motion on that then?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Dina.
Mhm.
Second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public comments, doesn't look like there's too many here tonight. Old business, please, Happy.
Okay, I'll go through, let's see here. So Christmas Festival is our next big event. That'll be December 3rd and 4th. The parade's at 11. There's also an activity at 10. So I think things have expanded a little bit this year. Everything's throughout the day, Saturday and Sunday. You're probably familiar with it.
Do you know what's starting at 10?
Yeah.
There's like an activity at, is it at the school? It's on the
On the flyer?
long flyer,
Oh,
yeah, but there was something that started at 10. I don't remember what it was exactly, sorry.
Okay, I'll have to
And
look.
all the flyers are down at Welcome Center because they only gave us a couple to start with, and I forgot to pick one up after they got handed out. So, but yeah, I mean, it's all day, the usual music in different venues all over town, and you've got stuff going on.
Yeah. The
one of the activities.
Program in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm doing Paramaran. Again, same first person.
Is that Santa Claus?
No, it's actually about spirituality, which since we're not a government site, we can get away with talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought, Christmas and spirituality?
I thought it was just about spending money.
For some people, that is spirituality.
So we have allocated funds to help advertise for the parade, for the Christmas festival. We're advertising for the businesses in between, doing some online advertising on online radio, being specific in zip codes around St. Louis, Jefferson County, St. Francis County. And then we also, I'll show you the Christmas ad that we have going in the Columbia Missourian. And then I guess also Allay Allume, is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah.
Okay, that's also coming up. That's starting November 25th. That's the other thing that's going on for the next month. So we don't have the activities in between, but we still want to keep it in mind that we have shops to come to, weekends if they want to stop in and stay overnight, and food to eat. Facebook page reach is up 102%. Our Instagram reach is up 24% because of the activities. Trust me, it's nothing I'm doing. Our website has been averaging about 200 visitors a day. We have now signed up for the new G4 Google program that they have that breaks down all the information and has real-time information, so we can kind of see how the website's working at this point. So I've only got a couple of months of data, and you can see where it's been increasing. So you can tell we're getting into, again, the events and activities, and people are checking out the website. And the time that we had the most visitors was right about Deja Vu, Rural Heritage Days, and Spectacular, the biggest stuff in October. The pages with the most views, things to do, and lodging. Average engagement time is about 1 minute and 41 seconds. September visit count was 1690 at the Welcome Center compared to 1292 in 2021. That's a good number. Instagram is up 150% for those that are engaged there. Again, most likely because of the October events. We're continuing to tweak the website. We'll get the group back together and try to see if there's some other tweaks we want to make to it. Travel Planners Radio Show folks were in town in October. They toured NPS, Chalmette, French Colonial, and the Museum Learning Center. They gave us the audio that we can put on the website, so we're working on a section to add so we can do that. It's a small radio show, but they've got a number of radio stations that they're on, and also the Fun Travel Network, like one of those down-the-line type cable channels you see. They're on there, and it's a way to promote the city. So it was a good visit. Working with Odyssey for the Christmas ads that I was talking about. Google business numbers rose in double digits this past month, with those asking for directions, total searches, and website visits. Phone calls that they track were down about 9%. So that's just when you call direct from online. The gravel road race is scheduled for October. No date yet. It was the second weekend of April. I'm sorry, it will be this coming April. It was the second weekend of April last year, or this year I should say. Next year, they're looking at maybe the third or fourth. But Col du Sudat is the fourth Saturday. Do you do that?
No, they're doing that at Felix.
Okay. We're trying not to do something on the same weekend as something else. So if that's that fourth Saturday, it may be where they need to think about the third Saturday and hone in on that. Okay.
That's April, you said?
That's April 2023. So they want to make it bigger and better. They're looking at a new location to set up. We had talked about the Island of Flags area, but I think they want to go with someplace else. No definitive. It'll stay downtown at this point, but nothing definitive. But there may be some working with Perryville on this, with Perryville's tourism, because it does go down into Perry County. So if there's a way to kind of enhance it, make it better, do more, we're all for that. We'll see.
Just-
But one,
Can I just say, be careful because they will steal the event from us.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll let that, but yeah.
Okay,
but one way or the other, third or fourth weekend of April for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think it was the 15th and 22nd.
15th or 22nd.
Yeah. So it is happening, so, if somebody asks, yeah, it's gonna happen. And they'll be taking vendors and people that want to participate. It's just, we'll get the word out now. Let's see. Here is the ad that's going in Columbia, Missourian. This is what we had talked about at the last meeting. That's a half page, so that's bigger than what it'll be actual size, but
where's this going?
this is in the Columbia, Missourian. It's in their travel guide, their winter, Christmas, Thanksgiving travel guide. We had talked about just a sixth of a page. The group said they wanted a half a page. This is what we ended up with. We had to submit Monday because of, or we had to get, got some input, but it had to go into print because it comes out Thursday.
Probably not.
Something else you might be interested in us doing. We did not advertise in Preservation Magazine this year. So, and the reason is the cost. Just for a small, it's like a 2x3 ad, it was like $3,000, $1,500 per ad, per publication that we were in. And we did spring and fall. So I'm looking at email advertising through Preservation, and we can get 4 ads, 2 in March, 2 in April, that would highlight preservation and what we do, and the historical houses. I'm trying to focus on that. But I can get 4 ads, and that would be $2,000. And then there would be banners on the email ads that would link to our website, so we'd be able to get people engaged. So if you think this would be something good for us to pursue, we can move forward with that. And highlight again the historical homes that we have, all the buildings, and outside of the ones that are that we highlight with the vertical logs. I mean, we have some nice looking homes that are historic and have been preserved. And I think that's something that engages those folks. It is a particular set of people, but I think the ad that we were running before, you just looked over it because it wasn't interesting at all. It just listed all the things you could do in St. Genevieve. So I want to try something else, and try to do a little more promoting of the historic aspect of downtown and the homes and this part of town. So if you think it's worth it, I'll move forward with it. If you don't, I will wait until if we go forward with it, I'll work with their advertising team to come up with the ad, and I can send it out to everybody to have a chance to look at it and approve or disapprove of it.
And then what kind of reach is it getting?
I think so they've got, they say list size of 65,000. So I think that's about 65,000 readers, and then the list for the featured e-news is 280,000. And what I saw of the magazine, it's not nearly that many readers. There's more readers on the email, and it's like, well, this may be the way to go, and try it. And I want to put it out in springtime for people that are getting ready to plan for their summer vacation. I thought that might intrigue enough people to get to, or to come to St. Genevieve. You know, it's just another aspect of one area that we have advertised, but we stopped this year because it was more than what our budget was. We usually use some of the state funds to help pay for that, so we didn't do that this year. So I'm trying to, you know, get back in to something that I think does relate to what St. Genevieve is about.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that audience.
I agree with the concept, not sure about, you know, but might be our primary or our only choice. I don't know if it's only, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, because the ad in the magazine was about double the size of one of the squares. I mean, it just wasn't much from what I saw. And it's like, why waste the money on that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we were getting I don't think we were getting the reaction we needed or the draw. So when they came up with this offer, and this is like $1,200 off what it would normally cost. So it's a special deal. You know, they're trying to get us back in their good graces. We're in our good graces. So it's like, man, let's bring it to the group. You know, give you a chance to talk about it. This would come out of our general fund budget. This doesn't come out of tourism tax. But I was looking for some feedback.
The city itself we don't do any sort of email marketing. There's no email collection or anything that goes on at the Welcome Center.
No.
Do you guys at your site, Jeff? Do you send out any sort of newsletter or anything?
We haven't done it for a while, but yeah, we're about due.
Okay.
It's a hard copy. The electronic stuff goes out pretty regularly. We have a regular emailing list.
Sure.
Stuff goes to, but it's in general, I think the consensus is if you're going to put it in a hard copy format, it has to be something pretty remarkable to catch people's attention. And if you're looking for feedback on this, yeah, I'd say don't worry about the magazine and go with the electronic stuff, especially if you can get a good deal on it, because it is a target audience, I think, we generally try to collect where people are, where did you hear about us? I can't think of off the top of my head that we ever had, I saw it in Historic Preservation magazine, but plenty of people come in looking for exactly what we have to offer here, and they're coming because of it. So if that reaches some of them, it's the audience.
I agree. I think that this would be a better route to go, especially if their advertising team can help us design something more along your vision.
Yeah.
And it would catch their
Yes.
attention.
Yes.
I figure with the Park Service, we haven't advertised since we had Park Service move in. We've got Bolduc House. We've got Keyboard Valley. I mean, we've got a lot of good properties to show. I'm interested to see how they want to put it together. But I think if it may be a rotation of a couple of ads that highlight different places. But I like to hit the preservation part of it, or the whole downtown. Okay.
Does the I'm trying to remember, does the website have any kind of tab, preservation section?
We have our story, or we have the history section, or the yesterday section. Yeah, we've got a history section. And
It'd be neat to have, it'd be neat to have something a little deeper on our website also, I think, towards the preservation. Heck, you could do a complete article on the levy alone as to why would St. Genevieve, a town like ours, get a levy like the federal levy the way we did.
Right. And there may be some of that in the Our Story section.
There might be, yeah. Where's the, any idea if there's a, college or university that, that focuses on or has a department on architecture or historical?
You know,
Yeah.
Do they?
yeah,
They're
they
here
have,
pretty
a-
frequently
Yeah,
still.
yeah, they have a historic preservation program, and
I was just
Dr.
thinking,
Hoffman's up here.
They
You
do it
know.
every summer, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
spring,
do
summer.
usually hosted by Felix, but they'll do, they come around and see all the different sites and,
I don't know if there, if any of the students ever focus on a specific style or, the Norman trusses or whatever the case may be. It'd be neat if if we put one of their, reports or paper on our website maybe. Just a thought.
If only we had a journalist in this town
Yeah.
that enjoyed writing about things.
yeah, especially if it happened to be a guy who kind of liked history,
Yeah,
sorta,
yeah.
a little bit, maybe.
Anyway, food for thought on boosting a tab on our website. It's dedicated, to preserve.
A way of getting at that might be to talk to, and kind of relates to something I was gonna mention, that, Donna's replacement does come in at Felix, Lauren Miller. She was up at the Mastodon State Park, just up the street, and since they're the people that regularly work with SEMO, if we were gonna try something like that, talk to Lauren and Whitney about that. And Jim Baker works with them too.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it would be a nice thing to kind of feature.
Idea.
Okay, any other questions or input? All right. And my semi-final thing, this is the,
Wait, so which one of these are you wanting to go with? There's two different options.
I was gonna go
The
with
one
the
with the
travel,
higher open rate?
the travel e-newsletter.
Okay.
That was a smaller bunch.
Right.
I'm gonna try to talk them into both. Okay, I think good enough. So this is just to show you what I'm trying to incorporate now with whoever comes in. So when we did Pecanapalooza, we did the online advertising, Facebook, online ads, and this was done by the folks over at Amplified, which is the daily news out of Deloge. And it said, after everything was done, it's like, can I get a breakdown of what we did, so I can see, and maybe that'll help us look this way, or look to what we need to do in the future. So this is the breakdown of what we did over that period of time. I think that was a $600 cost. So we had 26,000, almost 27,000 impressions. People saw the ad, 122 clicks. Dustin said we had more clicks than what usually happens with this amount of people, so it was a higher click-through rate. You can see the cities that looked at it, and then the websites that it was also featured on. A lot of those were also, that's an event calendar that has information on there, things to do. But we got more response from Festus than, double the response from Festus than we did any other city in the close area. So I think that's interesting. And you can kind of see by that map, it's a little hard, but you can see the areas that we covered with the advertising, the zip codes. So I also sent this to Robbie for him to know for next year's Pecanapalooza in case he's, plans out what he's going to do with his advertising.
Okay.
And are you doing something like this for the holiday Christmas festival, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll see what kind of breakdown we get. Now, that's going to be on Facebook, so I'll be interested to see what our breakdown ends up being on
Sure.
on that. Yeah, we're boosting ads on Facebook. Okay, I don't have any other old business.
Okay. Move on then. Thank you.
New business is the tourism director resumes. We do not have resumes tonight. We had 18 total applications. We had 2 that we looked to early on. We had a meeting first week of November, decided to meet again yesterday, and we had 3 more that are potentials that we want to talk to as the committee. So the group wants to do some face-to-face time before making a recommendation to a full group. So we don't have anything yet. We will have something next month if you want to meet. If not, well, how do you want to do that? If we're going to set up interviews for the full,
Because we're meeting on the 29th.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah, right after Thanksgiving.
So our next meeting would be December 19th.
20th?
20th? December 20th? Yeah. Which is the week of Christmas. Ish.
Kind of.
Yeah, ish.
Is it possible to move to a different date if that works for everyone? Earlier in the month, so we don't have to wait quite so long?
Yeah, we can, but we have meetings on the 13th, 14th, and the 8th. So we're looking at, we wanted to meet the first week of December, first full week of December.
You mean, Cole, when you meet 29?
Yeah. Yeah, the 29th is when we're doing our
I'm sorry.
preliminary discussions.
5th, 6th, 7th all open?
7th is open.
5th and 6th?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't, have anything in here.
Right. Planning and zoning is the 1st,
Right.
and then Alderman meeting on the 8th.
Right.
Okay.
So there's nothing.
I would propose we try and meet that week, just so it's
Oh, sure.
Why don't we
a
try,
little earlier.
why don't we just kind of put a mark on the 6th, and then
Right.
if you all, the committee, for some reason aren't ready to make a proposal after your interviews, then we'll just kind of slide it.
So the 6th?
Yeah.
What time, 5:30?
12:30 again?
5:30 or 6? Gotta be a little later.
No.
5:30? Okay. Because I'll set up interviews, and I would imagine those interviews are going to be 30 to 45 minutes, so you're looking at an hour set aside for each one.
That's on
With this?
the 29th.
We're going to do 15 minutes each,
Yeah, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
the main interviews. I figure if you have a,
Oh,
We're
well,
not-
we're getting ahead of ourselves there, Happy.
Yeah, we're not doing that on the 6th. I thought you just wanted to meet on the 6th so that we could then tell everyone.
The board to, this board to meet, right?
I mean, if we're going to
How did we get
recommend,
so far apart.
sorry, well, because I'm figuring if we're recommending certain individuals, do you want then that group to look at those individuals again based on a recommendation? Are we going to have 2 or 3 recommended folks? Or do you want to just go into the interview process? Because we're going to go through and decide who to make recommendations out of the 5.
Right. We're meeting with 5 people on the 29th via the internet.
Right.
By the end of that night, we should know if we want to throw any of them out or not.
Right.
But on the 6th, are we just getting everyone together so that we can then go over each applicant with this group and be like, here are the people, here's what they have, this is what they said to this is what they brought, do you like them or not? And then are we moving forward from there, or are we just going straight into interviewing them?
So I was going to go straight into interviewing because
On the
it seems like,
6th?
yeah,
With the whole board?
with the whole board.
And maybe the 15 minutes in between, you guys tell us what you think.
So you want the
Let's not drag it
entire
out.
TTC and TAC board to do the interviewing?
That was what I thought everybody wanted.
That
I
sounds
think
like a nightmare.
I think I misunderstood that. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about, if everybody shows up, how many people is that?
Like 12.
12 of us.
I think
I think you could get it down more than that. quick committee before.
I mean, it's not 5 people that we're talking about, we're talking probably 1 or 2, but I
Right.
don't wanna, I
But you
don't
want
wanna.
12 people to interview 2 people?
I think it would be structured though. I mean, just because there's 12 people in the room doesn't mean we're all asking questions.
I don't know that, well, I guess you can call it an interview. I think it's gonna be more of a, giving them an opportunity to talk to the committee about who they are and what they, would like to do in the position. I don't see it so much as, how do we divide that? I think that group is more of the interview, and again, it gives the larger group a chance to see them in person before the final decision's made.
Are we just gonna have the board then and no public attendance?
We close the meeting,
Mhm.
yeah. It's how you do interviews, you can do that, because it's personnel in that case. Now, if you want to just, and it would probably still be closed, even if we just talk about people,
I'd still like it closed.
Right.
because again, you're
No.
discussing,
No.
information about the individual and perceptions and that, and I
Yeah.
don't think that's fair to the individual. There are those that don't agree with that, but I think, I know that the
Well,
board here has done.
I wish we had a larger group for this conversation, because I'm curious of what everybody else thought the intent was.
It was my impression that the committee, the 3 plus Happy, was gonna narrow it down.
Yeah.
And then the entire group that's here on Tuesday nights would be chatting with the applicants. Not necessarily a formal interview, but at least
Right.
meeting that person and having a conversation.
Right, and asking, and
That
having
was
the.
not my impression.
Yeah.
My impression was that we were bringing it to the board for consideration, and they were gonna look at the names and our input, and then we were gonna decide who we were gonna interview.
And
Not that the group was going to
we
interview.
would see the resumes that
Yes.
you had narrowed it down to,
That,
and
yes.
just give you feedback on our reactions to that.
And
then-
give you guys an opportunity to ask us what we saw in that applicant and why we chose,
Right.
we pulled their names
Okay.
versus, that was my
I'm kind of okay with
understanding.
either one, but I agree with Susie. I kind of thought that this group was going to have an opportunity to meet the last 1 or 2 finalists, or the last 2 or 3 you know what I mean? I thought we were going to have a chance to meet them.
And I thought that was based off of the nights during this meeting and the Alderman meetings, all the public that came. They just wanted to make sure that the process was different and that the people who are involved had some say in that. And I think, call it an interview, you call it a I mean, whatever you want to call it. I think it's important that everybody that's been involved here feels like they have been involved in the process. Not saying that you guys who are doing all this advanced work aren't, but I just feel
Yeah, I
like
mean, if you're
with
taking
the
it-
turnover that we've had lately, it's
I'm
just
not
something we want to
disagreeing, I'm just thinking
consider.
that, in my mind, I'm thinking how, like, if I was the person interviewing and I'm sitting on a panel with 12 or 13 people, I would be like, what is happening?
But that's what that
Well,
job's gonna be
that's-
though.
that's-
They're gonna
yeah.
deal
I know,
with this
but I'm
group,
just
they're gonna
saying-
deal with 8 aldermen and a mayor. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a great tryout, just to see how they act with all the people in the
I
room.
think that the committee plays a very important role in this by getting it down to 2
Oh,
or
yeah,
3.
I agree with
So,
that.
you know what I mean? But I'm,
Mike, may I make a suggestion
Absolutely.
perhaps as
Yeah.
kind of a in-between? Perhaps if you all, the committee, is going to be reviewing a final 4 or 5 resumes and possibly talking some to each one of those people, and then you present that to us on the 6th, then based on our feedback of looking at the resumes, talking to you about what reactions you had to these people, how they responded to your questions, you get it narrowed down to a couple of finalists, and then perhaps the finalists, part of what they could do would be, in essence, a presentation to the larger group, because I think you've got a really good point there, that this is what they're going to have to be able to do. They have to be able to sell, and they have to be able to communicate. And, yeah, it would be a little bit of pressure, but there's a certain amount of pressure that goes with the position. So that would not be a bad thing for us to see how they handle it. But perhaps if it was the finalist, the final group,
I think the final group should, I mean, my opinion is I think the final group should see more than one person.
yeah, well, that's, I was thinking like if you got it down to two.
Yeah, 'cause we kind of talked about 2 or 3, so that's what I was imagining, is that the full.
But I don't think it'd be near as long as what you just said. I think, I kind of envision that we can, they come in and maybe have a seat at the head of the table, and 20 minutes later, we need to be wrapping it up.
So I will forewarn you, it'll probably be a Zoom call on one or more, so,
That's fine.
yeah, FYI.
That's fine.
So Happy, what do you think? So if you and the committee do more of a, it's gonna be more of a formal interview, correct? To get it narrowed down?
We were doing 5
5
questions,
questions.
Okay.
15 minutes, just trying to get a feel.
Okay.
Based on, and then from that, I think we can make a recommendation on who should be the finalists
Okay.
to talk to
then-
TACTTC.
And then would you think that finalists should be asked to do a presentation? Should we structure it more like an interview?
If you don't ask questions, if they, even with a presentation, if it's 10 minutes, people are gonna have questions. And
Yeah.
I just don't see it, I don't see it being short, but it's not, then, are you then basing it on equal factors between all of your interviewees? If I run through the list of questions like we did last time, we just kind of hit all the questions, and then if somebody had something else they wanted to kind of inquire about, we could expand on it.
Yeah, I'd rather not have the larger group start asking the same things that you all just went through
Yeah,
with them, you know what I mean?
Will one person be facilitating the questions like yourself?
yeah, that's what I would recommend. But everybody would have a chance to
Follow up on
expand
that.
on it, say, well, you said something about Facebook, but what about Instagram and how that works with Facebook or something? You know, so I once sat in front of a board that had, like 13 people on it, and it's intimidating, but I knew that's what I was gonna have to face, and what the job entailed. I didn't-
Do
I
they
didn't get
know
that
that's
job.
what we're asking of them? I mean, maybe we should let them know that they're going to be presenting to a larger group of people.
They will be. I mean, I told them we're, in preliminaries right now with the committee to take to our tourism boards.
Have you contacted the people that we're gonna talk to on the 29th?
I've contacted the 5. I've talked to 2 of them at this point.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if we're gonna get everybody
I think,
lined out.
I think putting them in front of the group, there's nothing absolutely out of the ordinary, given this type of position. I mean, you're gonna be briefing the board of aldermen and whoever on a regular basis, so.
Well,
I don't
I
have a
agree
problem
with
with
that.
that,
I'm just
but
saying
I
give
don't
them a
know.
heads up so they can mentally
Oh,
prepare
absolutely.
themselves.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I
I
also,
think you could also make the argument that because of the nature of this job and the dynamics of what is required of it, that it could potentially help a candidate, might not be sure that this is a good fit for them, to, getting to see the larger group and hear from them could be very useful to them in determining whether or not to take the position if it is offered to them.
Right. And I can ask them, hey, if you want to give a 5 or 10 minute presentation at the beginning, let them run with it. But then we have some structure after that
Yes.
it's like a regular interview.
to Susie's point, I think that it's something we haven't done in the past, maybe, it'd be good to do.
Are you using the questions that you sent us?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would probably eliminate the ones that we've selected, unless we think we need to ask them again. Or maybe those are the main ones I ask, and see if we get the same answers, and then everybody gets to hear those answers. And then we have other questions we can kind of, jump into that are more analytical or, experience-wise, that sort of, those kind of questions.
But you're wanting to do all of that on the 6th, just to clarify.
So what I want to do is have us do our interviews on the 29th,
Right,
narrow down who we think
sure,
should be then to do, the interviews with the board.
sure.
Narrow down to how many? You think we can pin that down?
I'd say 2 or 3.
I'd say no
Three
more
max.
than 3. Yeah, 3 max.
Well, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Okay.
I think 2 is the number I
Yeah,
have
I
in my
think,
head.
Okay.
yeah, I think 2 is right.
That'd be good too, yeah, but
Yeah, so I don't think it's, it's not like a long evening, but it will be.
well, it could be,
Do
yeah.
you still have, the applications open?
No,
Or
it's
we're
closed.
Okay, so everything that we've had and we've seen so far that's all we're gonna see?
That's all. Yeah,
Okay.
That's it. I can open it up again if this,
If we talk to these
So
people and
potentially,
everyone
if this
crashes and
happens on the 29th and
glorious
we're like,
employees.
Right.
no,
Right.
on all 5 of them,
Right.
what do we do?
then we re-advertise.
That's,
Okay.
yeah. That's
We'll
why
open
I
it
said,
back up.
that's why I said, then at that point, the meeting on the 6th, we don't need, and you open
Okay.
it back up.
Yep. Yep. Hate to say it, I hate to say it.
I don't
but-
think, well, who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know, because that's why we're asking for the Zoom, interview in 2 weeks.
I think you've had 2 people show definite interest. That's what I'm reading today, after what we went through yesterday and who I contacted. So I think you have 2 people that are really interested. It depends on what happens with our interview.
We will, the ones that we'll be talking to on the 6th, we'll get their information in advance,
Yeah.
and that'll be a closed meeting.
Did you, when you contacted the people, did you tell them that we wanted them to submit, like, work or something that they've done? Okay. Perfect.
So I have one person that submitted, I haven't sent it out yet, that'll go out tomorrow, and then the other person that should be sending me some stuff.
Yeah, and
So,
we can send it together.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, when you say going out, you going out to your group or
Yeah.
to the committee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
we
and
asked
then-
for extra information, so based off their resume, we asked for them to show us their work.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
If you put together marketing, advertisements, whatever, we want to see it.
okay.
Right.
Yeah, just some
If you
samples.
built a website, we want to
Okay.
see it.
Yeah.
Make sure your links work.
Oh, am I not getting the job?
So then, to kind of wrap it up, on the 6th then, would the first 20 minutes of the meeting be you, the committee,
Just
talking
going
to the
over
rest of us
Yeah.
about those 2?
Mhm.
As a summary?
Yep.
Hey, here's what we're looking at, this person, that person.
Right.
And then we'd have a designated amount of time for each of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a question. When we present to the group, are you guys going to want our opinions on those
I don't,
people?
I don't necessarily think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that you say, here is Joe, and
Sure.
Joe, Joe, I don't know what what might be, has 5 years' experience of doing this, this, and this. Here's Susie, and they have this and this and this. And then afterwards, they leave and they're done, then we continue our
Happy
conversation.
can be the one to present that to you then.
Yeah. Is that what you kind of had in mind?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
I just have a hard time controlling my facial expressions, so you would know which one I liked and which one I didn't.
So she'll be wearing a mask that night? We're
Oh, I
going
do
to
have a
say-
paper bag with my face drawn on it. I'll just wear that.
You just use
It was a Facebook profile photo, so don't worry.
Okay.
I know it's
So we're
complicated,
square
but-
with that now?
Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
And then just whoever can show up on the 6th shows up.
So we will send out an email tomorrow to TAC, TTC saying this is what has been
Emergency
scheduled.
meeting.
Please let us know if you can attend or not.
Right.
So that
We'll
we
be here.
can.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
No, that's all I got.
Anyone else have any other business? Very good. Guess I need a motion to adjourn then, huh?
Yeah, be good. We can just adjourn. Mayor just says
Tina?
you're adjourned.
Second.